Good evening. So the show with Emily went very well, and when it's ready, I'll post it in the community posts. Keep in mind though, there's an hour one, which is public, and then the hour two, which is for Patreon members. Um, it's it's really good that she brought up that Italian train station bombing Mandela effect because she actually ended up asking her dad if he remembers it. And she said that her dad is not a conspiracy theorist and not interested in those subjects or the Mandela effect, but that he is really interested in history and he knows a lot about history. And he said that he didn't remember that event, which I thought was really incredible. So she also pointed out that it's Bologna, so baloney, so it's baloney, right? Um, it's interesting though. She has a way of expanding your mind like nobody else. She's the type of individual that doesn't just question the reality. She questions like every minute substrata and detail of the reality, the underlying facets of things that people don't normally question or even in our community even think about, which is really interesting. It's really immersive and mind expansive to be in her presence, which is really cool. But anyway, I had a dream. I didn't like this dream. That it's like all the other dreams that I've had lately, which have been really murky, dreary, kind of hazy, foggy, not much context to what's going on, not very vivid. That's kind of what it's been like last few weeks. Stuff I've been having not even worth sharing, or I hardly remember a thing, for example. This one, though, I thought it was noteworthy enough to mention because of one specific thing. And that was something I saw. Well, first of all, it was another situation where I knew what location that I was in. And it was another one of these dreams that I get occasionally where I'm like on the hunt searching for something. Like I told you guys, I had that dream in Israel where I was like searching for the tomb of Jesus or something. This was like a really similar type of situation, except I knew that I was in Brazil. I've and that's interesting on its own because I've had multiple dreams where I knew that I was in Brazil, and this is another one of those. It felt like national treasure type of situation where I'm out there searching for something and I don't know what it is. Everything is murky. And then when I go up to people, I've talked to all these people and they're all very suspicious of me. They're all like asking me why I'm looking for that. What is it that I'm trying to find? And as I'm actually actively searching for this thing, I keep seeing this massive image of the Eye of Horus before me. Um, like a golden Eye of Horus, like literally made out of solid gold in its typical triangular fashion inside a triangle. And that's kind of weird, right? Like, why would I be seeing that? What is that trying to show me? Like, is he watching me? Is Horus watching me? Is he watching my every move, right? I don't know, but um, I just feel like I'm in this. Like the whole setting of the dream felt very labyrinth like. It felt very maze like, where I was like in multiple places at once, talking to multiple people at once. It wasn't really a linear type dream where it had one segment like naturally flow into another. like most of my dreams are very natural like that, very almost lifelike and familiar to me. This was not like that at all. It was very condensed and unpleasant. I don't like those type of dreams. Um, but I was searching for something, and every time I thought of searching for this thing, I kept seeing this eye, which is really fascinating on what that can mean. Um, you guys decide that though. Anyway, so before I go, we had the talks today. We had the NATO Russia talks today. And you know what I noticed? I noticed very few people, at least that I could see, talking about this. I don't really, like, I'm talking about like YouTubers specifically, or even people like in conspiracy circles, or even news related stuff. They're not bringing this up very much, which is just astonishing to me because I don't see how this is not a big deal, because it is a very big deal. It is a very big deal that should be paid attention to. We have a number of possible scenarios of what I kind of want to go over on what could happen next, because to summarize the discussions, they basically went like this. NATO said, screw you, I don't want to do what you tell me. And then Russia said, screw you, I don't want to do what you tell me. Basically like that, like some kind of high school fight or something. It kind of makes me wish I was a diplomat. Like, I would probably be able to negotiate better than some of these guys. Don't tell them I said that, though. I just, like, I think I would be pretty convincing in trying to negotiate for peace. It is one of those situations, though, where it's so twisted and messed up in so many ways. It's almost so deliberately placed. So you have NATO putting, all like their missiles all around Russia, nearby Russia. And simultaneously you have Russia putting all these soldiers on the border of Ukraine by the way, in a region where my family is from, by the way, a place I've been to. And basically we have Russia insisting so many times that they're not planning on invading Ukraine that it's become redundant, and it's made me very suspicious that since they said that many times, it makes me suspicious that they are going to invade. So I'm kind of thinking the opposite. But the bigger problem here is NATO. So putting all their so I'm not on Putin's side. I'm not on anybody's side in this. I think there are larger players at play. I think there's going to be a bigger dog that's going to throw a bigger bone into the middle of this at some point. But we have a number of possible scenarios that can play out. One of them being Russia has recently traveled many times to Cuba and to Venezuela, and they are planning on putting missiles in Cuba and Venezuela. I think that's very likely, and basically initiated literally a Cuban Missile Crisis Part 2, Part 1 being way back in 1962. I think that basically they're going to try to do that to see if that is going to deter NATO from, expanding further to the east, or possibly in the hopes of them just completely retracting back and taking everything back. It's a really dangerous game. And a little hairpin could set it off if this is what ends up happening. That would be the best case scenario, though, if Russia were to place the missiles and then NATO would remove theirs from Eastern Europe, which I believe then Russia would remove theirs from Venezuela and Cuba. And that would kind of cool down the situation, I think. As far as Ukraine goes, I don't know. It's still a mystery to me. Um, are they going to invade? It seems kind of odd that they would, but maybe. Um, Possibly, I guess. Scenario number two, from this, like, there's going to be one more day of talks, by the way, so it's not totally over. But I'm already assuming that they're going to fail because it's just, it's gone nowhere. It was pointless, basically. Basically, scenario number two is that you have that bigger dog in the fight who's going to throw that bone. And what I mean by that is false flag. They're going to pull a Gulf of Tonkin ship incident of some kind that's going to set off both sides, set off Russia, NATO, and possibly throw in China in that situation. It's so hard to say. I don't know what goes on in the minds of these sociopathic, psychopathic leaders. I wish I knew. Like, maybe if Putin has this grandiose vision of reestablishing the Soviet Union, then you have a really real chance that a very hairpin, fragmentary thing might trigger everything. Or he's already had it all planned. If he has this psychotic vision in his mind to kind of take back the glory of old Russia, then expect war regardless, basically. I don't know if that's what he has in mind. A lot of people seem to think so. A lot of people seem to think that China has that sort of same imperial mindset. Now, where have we seen this imperial mindset before? World War II, that's right. And World War One. Yeah, you have this sort of pattern of thinking repeating itself where you have these narcissistic psychos who have this grand vision of their nation being the best, which I can't really be against. Like, if somebody wants to be the best, then sure, be the best. But the course of human history seems to imply being the best means killing and taking from another, which is wrong. So if you're going to be the best without doing that, but that's not what the mindset of psychopaths are. So anyway, I got to be done here. Anyway, so that's the other scenario. And then the other scenario is that they will wait out a little bit longer for another round of talks, possibly even a long time, maybe even another year. It's possible that they could patiently wait for that long, and then try it again, or maybe a few months or a few weeks, for example, see if they could do another round of talks. And then if that doesn't work, then there's still going to be some kind of... I see basically almost every scenario still leading to war. However, over the last 2 years, every time we've been on the brink, something would hold us back. So there is supernatural forces that have been preventing major conflict, I think. So it could be the same here. Or not. I think this time we're definitely in a little bit more dangerous of a position than usual. Definitely more serious than before, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what these brilliant minds will do, right? Brilliance. I should become a diplomat. I'm going to go do some peace talks. Dan, the diplomat, I'm going to go travel the world and talk peace.